Hey everyone, I hope that you all are doing well. 2025, a new year. First of all, I want to thank you all for 2024 because it was one of, if not the, best year for the channel. With 6 new videos, a new collaboration, new video themes for the channel. Wow, it was just awesome. Again, thank you all for the amazing support that the channel got last year. This year I started university, but I will still try to keep up with a decent amount of videos for 2025. But well, let's start with today's topic. Tidmouth Sheds. Tidmouth Sheds is probably the most recognizable destination of Thomas the Tank Engine and friends. It has got many releases on different Thomas brands like TOMY, Take Along, Wooden Railway, RTL, Jeopardy Now, Bandai, etc. This time we will talk about the motorized brands and why I think its iterations of the sheds have just got worse. After saying that, back to the video. First of all, we need to go 21 years back in time, in 2004. Engine Sheds and Turntable, also known as a roundhouse in the US, was released, the first motorized version of Tidmouth Sheds. Well, sort of. The set had 5 engine sheds, all separated by the way, a turntable, and some tracks to connect. It was more an expansion than a full set because, well, you didn't have a full track loop. It was just like a destination to connect to your own island sort or track. Then, 3 years later, in 2007, RC Thomas at Tidmouth Sheds, my favorite Tidmouth Sheds by the way, got released by Trackmaster hit toy company. It presented a more accurate version of the famous sheds and a unique Thomas. This one has the feature to be driven by a controller and has the ability to flip faces with some special track. This set was later released in 2008 by Trackmaster Tomy and then in 2010 by Trackmaster Fisher-Price, having the difference that Thomas had its running board red. Then, in December of the same year, Playrail released a special version of the sheds made by Tomy years ago. Shiny Thomas, large turntable and engine shed set included almost the same as the sheds mentioned before, but this one does not include the wide track and the turnout rails. The special thing about these sheds are the shiny Playrail Thomas and the sheds, well, obviously, but this time they are more accurate to the show, as the sheds are yellow and green, and not brown and grey. In my personal opinion, I think the sheds made by Tomy are better. The Playrail colors of the structures are just too shiny. Not my type, not my cup of tea. Our next stop is 2011, when Trackmaster Fisher-Price released Tidmouth Sheds. It included a 4-door Tidmouth Sheds, some tracks, a 3-way tunnel and the respective Trackmaster Thomas model used in that year. This is where I think the quality starts to decline a lot. In 2015, Playrail released the collapsible Thomas engine compartment. It was a box where you could store track, engines, rolling stock, and, well, whatever you liked. With the addition that it also came with a mini 4-engine shed. Remember that odd motorized Thomas line? No? Well, and it was sold just in Europe and Asia. Even if this line doesn't have a Tidmouth shed itself, it had a Tidmouth shed. Yeah, just one, a single one. If you buy a lot of these and the turntable destination, you could create Tidmouth. Yeah, I don't like this line. Never liked it. Well, just look at it. The trains are so huge for God's sake. The only thing I like about this line is the second version of Giant Thomas, now in CGI. Well, I still want it, even if it's this version or the player one, I don't care, I just love Giant Thomas. I could make a review to that set though. Now we enter a complicated train. Trackmaster Revolution, loved by a few and hated by a lot of people. In 2016, the Tidmouth Turntable expansion pack got released. There isn't a lot to say here, they just released a turntable. They didn't even release the sheds like the previous set. Nope, they just released a turntable. Thanks Mattel. Next, we have a huge set. A massive set. I'm talking about the Superstation set. Oh wow. I'm pretty sure that if I saw this set when I was a child, I would have loved it. Released in 2017, the Superstation is a huge set. This was one of the many attempts of Mattel to make these sets universal. With universal, I mean compatible with all the Thomas toy lines that were in stores at the time this set got released. This is proven because the set includes a Trackmaster Thomas, an Adventures Percy, and a Minis James. I can't really say I hate this set. It has a lot of track configurations, a huge representation of Tidmouth, not great at all by the way, but huge. And it even won a prize. The same year it got released, it won the Oppenheim Toy Portfolio Platinum Award. Then, in 2018, we have the Hyperglow station set. It has a 3-way Tidmouth Sheds line, a coal loader, a water tower, and glow-in-the-dark tracks. This set got a modification named Deluxe Depot Set for the motorized railway line. And I can't believe what I'm going to say, but the motorized railway is better than the Trackmaster Revolution version. This is because it doesn't have that glow-in-the-dark paint, but these sets aren't the same. The motorized railway, for example, has a cranky destination instead of that coal loader that was in the Trackmaster Revolution version. Then we have the Trains and Cranes Super Tower. Similarly to the Superstation, this is a huge set. It had a motorized Thomas, a push-along Percy, and I believe this is a motorized Harold? Well, it includes Tidmouth Sheds and a loop tower that connected with Cranky, Keisha, I never heard of that character before, and Carly Cranes. It had quite some fast and fun functionalities, but it's just that. We're going to talk more about this in the end. This set is not compatible with minis, and won the best playset from the 2021 Made for Moms Toy Awards. In the same year, we got the Connect and Go push-along Thomas. It was a tiny shed for one engine that could connect to motorized track. The shed is inspired by Tidmouth, obviously. This set had some variations, just an engine change, and got a re-release in 2022 when All Engines Go merge became a thing, sadly. Then there is this thing. I'm not even saying anything about this. As we have seen in the video, Tidmouth Sheds has got many releases in the motorized brands, some better than the others. But there's one clear thing: the quality of the sets has fallen significantly. Trackmaster Tomy, to motorized as a brand, has generally gotten fantastic. That meaning for fantasy, not for good. When researching for the Superstation set, I found a video made by Trainboy talking about the fantasy looking of the Trackmaster brand. Link will be in the description. Referring to the Superstation, he says, and sadly, this kind of started a trend in Trackmaster sets. Call it a loss of creativity, call it a changing tide or diminishing magic. In my case, personally, I call it overly complicated. Complex. Complication. Those are the words to describe the downfall of Trackmaster Tidmouth Sheds. Trackmaster at first was simple. You could always expect to get on a set at least an oval loop of track, an engine, and some scenery thing, a point of interest, a destination, a tunnel, or some piece of separated track to put trucks, like the case of the Playrail Thomas and Freight Car set. The aim of Mattel, when they changed the Trackmaster brand, was the opposite. These were complex sets, with a lot of elevated track and wacky play features, like in the Shipwreck Rail set. That was exactly how Trackmaster Revolution was promoted. Faster, can climb higher tracks. One thing that made Tomy Trackmaster so good was how complete a set was. A set itself was good, yeah, but you could connect them to other sets and make your own version of the Island of Sodor. But we can't forget when Trackmaster did some crazy stuff. The Action Canyon set. That masterpiece of a set, I love it. Where Thomas falls off a bridge and into a waterfall. Or that Misty Island bridge set where Thomas was staggering or going from a point to another in a wood cable carriage. Simplicity. That doesn't happen with motorized sets, because they aren't made for that. That's just not the target of a motorized set. Motorized sets were promoted as cool and fun, with lots of play features. A normal Revolution set could have a connecting bridge, a launcher that makes a train fly, etc. In summary, Trackmaster and motorized had different targets. Trackmaster was meant to build your own Island of Sodor with a simple but fun experience. Motorized doesn't aim to be simple. It was made to be frenetic, for something constantly happens in the set. Did Trackmaster Tidmouth Sheds quality fall? Absolutely. Today's sets have other fantasy-ish purposes, more than being where your trains could rest, and the quality of materials was significantly cheaper. The first Tidmouth Sheds had 5 sheds, and the last interpretation of Tidmouth Sheds has only 3. The evidence is just there. That's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed it. I really love making these videos. Really. I really like writing these scripts and doing research. What do you guys think about these sets? I would love to see your opinions and thoughts in the comment section. Trackmaster is a very extensive brand. There are many topics that I would like to talk about in the channel, so please comment if you like the video. After saying all of that, that's it for today's episode of TOMY Discussions. I am the TOMY Remaker, and I will see you in the flip side. Bye bye!